NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst you legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight. Hey gang, so I got a new book out. It's called The Upside of Fear, and it's exactly what you think it's about. It's about the good side of, well, getting scared. In it, we talk not only about the science and biology behind fear, but the psychology as well. And it's not just coming from me, it's coming from some of the best in the sport. Omar Alhigelan, Jeff Provenzano, Maxine Tate, and so many more have contributed their sometimes terrifying stories to the book to help you overcome your fear. So head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com. You're going to find the link to the book there, as well as the other books. It's available in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook right now.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go! Back in the can for another edition of the Lunatic Fringe podcast, and a friendly face I'm catching up with after a couple of years. Dude, who the fuck are you and what do you do?
I'm still Jamie Webster, and I still a professional skydiver.
You've been a busy motherfucker for a while now.
Yeah, it's been pretty full power, man, the last 8 years for sure. So,
well, dude, even just the last, I think probably year and a half or so, just watching your socials, because this is the first time we've had a chance to really talk since I left Dubai.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been all over the place doing some pretty fucking cool shit.
Yeah, been very fortunate, man. Like, not only is this drop zone a tool to progress, but it also gives me the cash and the time off to go play in the summer. So
yeah, for sure. And then spend your time during the season learning how to play new Tool songs.
Yeah, that's it. Well, since we last spoke, I'm single Pringle. Now it's been recorded and putting it out there. So I moved into my own studio, and I've got my own man cave now. So
nice.
That's it. I mean, it's just me and my 2 cats. That's it.
Well, it was kind of funny because you had made that post and put up the song and who can name the song, and I didn't know the exact song, but I knew damn well it was Tool.
But I need to show you after the call, man. I've got the tapestries on the wall. Got the 10,000 days and the Lateral
Absolutely.
tapestries. Yeah,
You're
they
gonna
look
have to
great.
give me the full tour. So, for those that didn't hear the first episode, let's give them a recap and talk about how you got started, not necessarily in skydiving, but in anything so-called extreme.
uh, like a tandem paraglide on a ski holiday. Like being in the sky. England is quite a like the tandem scene there is all charity skydive. So a lot of the people, they go to work and they get people to sponsor them to do a jump. I didn't really want to do a tandem, so got my friends to sponsor me to do my first jump, my AFF level 1. And then I was still working in the factory as a welder, so part-time on the weekends was just going in and jumping for fun. And then ended up doing the New Zealand skydiving school. And then from there, 8 years ago, just traveling the world and becoming a tandem master, FF instructor, and more recently getting into more coaching and load organizing. So it's been a very natural transition over, so it's been good.
Now, what was the welding gig? Was this like a family trade or
Like,
something that you'd picked up?
nah,
Or?
like was a sheet metal apprenticeship. So like we were making like external machine guards for CNC for like Volvo and stuff like that. So it was basically standing in a welding bay, welding for 10 hours a day, 12 hours sometimes.
So you're really
In no
disappointed you're not
sunlight.
doing that anymore, right?
Yeah, for sure. I used to have a calendar with the BPA. I was like, one day I'll be one of these guys.
That's pretty funny.
I'm
Well,
happy to be outside, man. So
I got a good buddy that had been a pro skydiver for many, many years, and then he moved with his now ex-wife to Australia, and he was a welder at the time too, and ended up getting a gig in the mines in Australia. And you can imagine he was like, "I fucking need to go back to skydiving. This is some shit here."
yeah, then he works in skydiving for a little bit and realizes the money's where it was at with the welding. So
Right? Yeah, but that's the fucked up thing, right? You find a job you love and you can barely survive on it, or you have a job you hate but you got money coming out of your ass.
yeah, for sure. I don't regret the decision at all. Like even the New Zealand skydiving school I said before, like sometimes get a bit of a bad rep, but I know I moved out and traveled around and met loads of people, and now the longer you're in the sport, the same circles keep resurfacing with different friendship groups. Oh, you know this guy, or you know that guy, and you travel across the continents. Unfortunately, never made it into America, but a lot of people everywhere. It's great. I love it.
For
Love having
sure.
that friendship circle, and the community is what I love the most.
Well, it's kind of funny too. For as when I was in New Zealand, for as much shit as we talked about the fact that there was a skydiving school that had job placement, and it seemed like everybody that got placed just ended up a packer somewhere. Um, I've met a lot of people that went through and became successful skydivers through that school, at least to some degree.
Yeah. The problem is like that it breeds like workforce from the beginning, and like a lot of people miss out on like the fun aspect of like really why people start skydiving. Like a lot of, for me, tandem master, like doing a tandem job and instructing is a way to supplement the lifestyle and survive doing it, not have to go back to doing a real job. But the whole reason I do it is for those fun jumps or for the boogies or for the events. Is like that's what drives me through the day. And a lot of people, I think they like get their instructing license, like that's just their goal, and then when they reach it, then they burn out. There's no,
Sure.
if they never knew that before, like this kind of school, that's where they do their license. A lot of people, because they had New Zealand had the first year of education for free. So like if you actually from New Zealand, the government was going to pay you to go and do 200 free skydives. How rad is that?
Right, right. Absolutely.
I'd be like, England, are you listening? Like we'd like that.
Well, and that's like on the higher end level, it's countries like France that take such good care of their athletes once they're in it and going strong. So either
Yeah.
way, to take care of people in the sport is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, for sure. And it's nice that they do that, but not everyone does that. So
Does the New Zealand skydiving school still exist?
yeah, it's still going. I think it's difficult to recover from stuff like the COVID, like when it's all international people, or they made more money off the international people. So
Well,
takes a whole. Also the actual skydiving in New Zealand, it had a demand. It was on the skilled shortage list, and then all of a sudden there's now no jobs, no tourists. Well, now there's not a shortage, Now it's the opposite.
yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, granted, I don't know too much about it, but from everything that I heard, COVID took a fucking real chunk out of skydiving in New Zealand.
Yeah, I was there actually for the when it kicked in, and it was like it's crazy actually to be in Queenstown and it be mad busy, and you have thousands and thousands of people coming into that small town every day, and then the next day it's ghost town. Nothing. Can't believe it. It was
Well, what
cool
was
to see, but also would never want to do it again.
yeah, well, what was the big drop zone out there that shut down? Was it End Zone?
Endzone's still going, but they owned Wanaka, Glenorchy, and Endzone, but their bookings got like filtered and pushed through to Endzone, so that was
Sure.
the one that survived.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, that was kind of when I was jumping in California, I had a lot of friends that would do winters in New Zealand, and they'd end up out that way. So they'd have, rotating skydiving families on opposite sides of the planet because it was
yeah,
like the destination to be.
it is a great spot. It's great. That's actually where Jonesy's just gone now. So good for him.
Yeah, I
Hope
actually
he enjoys it.
Tim Jones, who has also been on the podcast as well, walked away. And what gig did he take out there? Is he going to be chucking drogues and stuff?
Yeah, he's going to be the best camera guy that they've got, and also getting onto those handy cams. He's got away with it for the last 8 years, so now he can go and live a day in the life in the real world.
Oh man, well, I'll tell you what though, you fucking punk kids, your handy cam is GoPros on top of your hand. I was the one with fucking mini DV, a goddamn a cassette recorder strapped to the top of my hand trying to do tandems.
Man, I
Fuck.
don't know how you did it. I also don't know that when I first came to Dubai, we were still I was borrowing Mass's whatever it is, the DS 500 or whatever it is, Canon, something big thing. I'd
Yeah.
never had to do that before. Never had to take the pictures with my tongue. The first few days on the video, like jump out, no exit shots, just nothing. Landing, like looking at the camera, like shit, I forgot to take any photos of this
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah. Oh, trust me,
But
I would do the same goddamn thing when I was learning how to shoot video, and this is back when we were shooting 35 millimeter, and you'd either be so focused on the jump you'd forget to take any pictures, or you'd be so amped to take the pictures that you blew your wad down the slide. And the customers are, because it's a week later when they've developed their film, and they're like, "Why the fuck are there 3 pictures of me in free fall and all the rest are on the ground?" You're like, "Yeah, I fucked that one up."
yeah. But man, like the weight is a big thing. Like in the last 8 years, I've done over 11,000 jumps. And like to have a 3-4 kilo thing on your head, like it's not sustainable. Like your neck's cooked. Everyone's
Yep.
no one wants to be you, Dean.
No, but what makes me sleep better at night is the next generation coming up behind you is going to say the same shit about what you're doing now.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. You barely feel the GoPros, man. 2 GoPros. It's the quality of the product is obviously, it's not as good as the other photos, but
Sure.
it's a longevity thing. And to be honest, people just put it on Instagram anyway. Like you
Yeah.
can kind of see on the wall behind me. Like I printed a lot of in my man cave. I printed a lot of the photos out, but like proper photos, like from 4D. Or Nick Scalabrini or Brandon. Brandon's been taking some amazing photos these days. And it's really cool when people have the passion still for the actual art of the photography, because it's something that I really like it. And Brandon's got a great eye for not just the jumps itself, but like it's important for the backdrop or the aesthetics or like whatever it is, the rule of threes. And it's actually art. It's not just like a cool shot of
Sure.
of an angle that's, you know what I mean? It's like actually like we're trying to line it up. Like I don't know if you saw the photos, the thing we were doing the other day. Evan was like upside down on the Spectre, and I was on the Slayer, and he's upside down and has his hands in the cells of my canopy. So it's
Yeah.
but we're trying to do that, which is like we're already doing it after outside camera jumps, you know. So like, you know, Ivan's, we're trying to stack it up. So Ivan's out first, then it's Brandon, and then like fly over that way, and then like I'll come down because I'm loaded at like 3 or something on the Slayer, and you know, Ivan's on the Spectre 2. You know, so like the ranges are quite different. So you trying to get your instructor to pull like 500 feet higher to get over there, and then like, all right, try and line it up with the buildings in the back, and like a lot going on, you know.
For sure. But that's a super cool thing about it, right, too? Because I mean, you figure we go out and as camera flyers, you're buying this camera equipment basically as a way to go out and, for the most part, fly working jumps and pay the bills. But then you have all of this incredibly expensive high-end equipment that either sits on the ground and collects dust when you're not working, or you put it to good use.
But the stuff that Brandon's putting on his head now is like, you know, the lens is like 200 mil or something ridiculous. You know, this thing is like, it's like, you know, he's actually flying with his hand behind his head, pushing his head down because the lens comes off his head so much, you know.
See,
but man, like the photos are just so good, you know, like.
I was going to say that's also next level in skill, because I mean, it was just pure forcing my head down for something like that. But Brandon's such a talented flyer. He can not use an arm to hold the camera.
Yeah. He's one of the most dedicated, passionate people in the sport that I think I've met. And it's great being around people like that, you know, like even on that staff load, on that workload, you know, it's not even a staff run jump. It's like, we're still finding ways of like keeping it fun or like not making it so monotonous. And you know, you do 2,000 jumps a year, like it's hard, it's rinse repeat, it's the same words to people, it's the same, you know, especially here the conditions are the same. You know, I actually used to quite like some days jumping in the shit conditions because you have to concentrate, you know, when you don't smack people in, and you do you know, if the USPA is listening, I don't do 180 hookies, but we do 180 hookies. And you stand them up and you land next to your catchers and no one's, and you know, it's like, you know, I absolutely fucking nailed that, you know. And you know, here it's like the conditions are great all the time, and it's like it just becomes, and there's even the clouds, there's no clouds, it becomes like very, very repetitive. And but having people around you that are just still keen to be like, all right, we'll spray. Jonesy was the best for it. Like, right, we'll buy spray paint and we'll spray the bullseye target in the landing area. And like, cool. Well, leave a whiteboard there. Everyone's got their name down, and you just keep tallying up how many points you've got for the day. So even if we're not on the same load, we're still competing against each other and who's buying the first beer at the, you know, after. Nice. Like, you know, it's great, man. It's like there's not many places still like that, you know. So
it's a big thing to be able to do that too. I mean, I was very lucky in that when I was a full-time jumper, I actually really enjoyed doing tandems. I had a blast doing that stuff, and I also was in a place that had, for the most part, could have really challenging weather conditions as well. And you're right, the sun is up, light and fucking variable breeze days, you don't really remember, but I remember damn well when I was skirting the side of a fucking thunderstorm, or
yeah, for sure,
you know, backing up with a fat tandem student almost into the trees. You know, that's the shit
you
remember.
That's the stuff that, you know, like, but then now I've got a bit older, I'm like, you know, I'm glad I don't have to scare myself every day. Like, he's going to a place where, you know, mountain conditions, and it's not what you used to, bro. So it's good though. Great for learning process, you know, not getting stale, get out there, challenge yourself, you know.
If it makes you feel any better as you get older, smaller shit scares you more.
Well, man, like I'm starting to think about, I want me and Brandon looking at getting a team Sapphire 129. So that's what we want, Gyro, if you're listening. So
there you go.
Hook us up some team ones. I'm ready to slow down a little bit, man. Like working all the time, especially jumping over the obstacles and the buildings. It's like it's a lot of added stress, dude. Like different packers, different people. It's like can't bother to be dealing with the malfunctions and the other stuff.
I was going to say that's kind of the thing when you're flying what traditionally would have been strictly sport or even competition canopies, but you're flying them as your daily driver. That's got to add a level of stress to the day, right?
For sure. And it's like, you know that you really shouldn't do it, but the problem is that we can do it. So it's like, it's fun to fly the fast canopies all the time. And for me, the reason that I want to do it is that when I actually have to go and do the demos, like this year, I was like super fortunate to go and do some organizing at Extreme Sports Week in Norway. So turn up at Extreme Sports Week, great event. There's doing mountain swoops, they're doing heli jumps, they're doing demos. It's like it's amazing. Not only just for skydiving, you've got people paragliding, there's downhill mountain boarding, there's speed flyers, there's base jumping. It's all this event. It's like a festival, but people at the end of the day, they just go and they stand and they watch of all the different sports. It's amazing. It's like really cool, a really cool vibe. It's great. And like I turn up, okay, cool. Not really jumped this canopy that much. I did three or four jumps on it. Packed myself line twist on one of them. I had to cut away on the third jump on it. So I was like, fuck. Now I'm jumping out over the fjords and the mountains. I'm not feeling like overly stoked, because we managed to retrieve all my stuff. I've never bought a brand new canopy in my life, and I jumped 3 jumps on it, and then I watched it sail off into the ocean. I'm like, fuck, and I just all right. Now over the mountains, now over this stuff, and it's like, but what I was getting back to is like jumping these canopies on a daily basis. Then when you have to fly them in the mountains or doing these demos, it's 18 knots downwind. Okay, cool. Like you got to land in this little square. Yeah, cool. Like jumping this thing every day. I've done 1,500 jumps on this canopy or like high performance canopies this year. Like
sure,
it's exciting, but you don't feel like it's overwhelming. There's
sure.
Definitely a difference. Like.
Well, I mean, and it's obviously what you get used to as well. I mean, way back in the day in '98, my old Skyster partner and I competed at the Nationals in Elsinore, and our home drop zone was in Las Vegas, known for high squirrely fucking winds, and I mean, you get used to some fucked up conditions. And we got out there, and I want to say that the wind limit was something like, I don't know, 10, 12 miles an hour. It's just something super low. And we're like, are you kidding me? We don't even start getting nervous till it's over 25. And we were both low time jumpers. We're like, fucking bring it on. Let's go. But no. So it really is what you're used to.
Yeah. And that's what I said. It's like, it's just great. You have your eye in. Like, it's one of the biggest things that I've learned from being here is like being so much more current on my own gear. Like different conditions, different setups. Like, the whole idea of like getting the Slayer and trying to jump it every day for work was to be, like moving into a bit more of the competing. But after seeing everyone these days on the mutants, like there's basically really no point. It's just just like another league. It's like, all right, well, but yeah, it's still fun to fly. But it's just I would like another canopy on risers, and just if today's the day, or we're going to do some fun stuff, I'll bang it on,
Yeah.
Because even when I was borrowing Brandon's rig, he's still doing 810 hook turns on the Sapphire 139. And it's crazy. Like you still know, even like low and adjusting, like your brain is just trained enough that it can work out the distances. It's like, okay, I'm high, or I'm not diving as fast at the ground, or like I need to wait, or I need to be faster. It's like the trajectory and the recovery arcs are different, but the skill, like the motors that you're using, is the same.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I remember being out there. I would go out on a day off and go do some hop and pops, and I remember Cornelia giving me shit because all I ever did was 270s, and she comes out and tries to talk me through a 450, and I go up and I start the 450 turn. I think I got a quarter of the way through it and went, fuck that. Because nobody's ever going to be impressed with my swoops. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I winding myself up? This is ridiculous. And I landed. She's like, what happened? And I'm like, that shit ain't for me.
But that's the kind of stuff, man, that like, cool, if we're going to be, you got maybe a bit different that you was flying the planes or at that point in your life. But, if you're working every day, like, you need those little games, those little progression bits, because as soon as you lose that,
sure,
it just becomes the job. It's just, sometimes it's even worse than working in the factory because I didn't have to talk to anyone in the factory.
Sure,
I just go my Weldon Bay, But like, if you let things get to you, and it just grinds you down, man. Like this is probably one of the easiest jobs for you to to get over pretty fast, you know, because
Sure.
I feel really fake, man. Like when I'm having a shit day, everyone has shit days, you know, like, and I try really hard not to let that like portray to my students or to my customers, you know. It's like, you know, it's their once in a lifetime thing. You feel, you know, especially when they're like, oh, you know, I saved up 5 years for this. You're like, well, fuck, like I gotta do
Right.
this. I gotta do you right by this, you know. I do everybody right, you know. I don't try and not do that, but like when you have a shitty day, it's like it's grinding you down. It's
Yeah.
grinding you down. You're like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like,
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. That was actually one of the things that I think one of the reasons that I was able to do stay in the cockpit for so long is for the same thing. You have to have those little games that you play that keep it interesting. And with flying the jumpers, I was chasing the clock every single load. So am I faster this
perfect,
load or was I
perfect.
slower? Yeah, so you've got that game. And then, especially in a
And you
drop
get
zone like that, where there's almost always two aircraft up, it's am I faster than this other motherfucker flying the other plane?
no, you
You
were
know,
never Jackson was always the fastest. We all know that.
always. You had to bring that up, god damn it. Fucking I'll tell you
I was
what,
like, I've never been invited on this thing again.
I can get over the fact that he's got fucking that perfect hair. And
I know.
he's the only human being I've ever met that can take a helmet off and his fucking hair looks better. Like
Yeah,
I can get over that, but to have that hair and a six pack and fly slightly faster than me, fuck you, dude.
that's it. Even
Oh, we seem to have a bit of a connection. All right, so yeah, first we overheated your phone and then we killed the battery because this
that's it,
conversation's too
man.
good. So we were talking shit about Jacko, which I am not going to let go of.
What is? Yeah, I know you keep bringing. Every time I mention his name, something happens to my phone. So maybe we should just move on.
He's got the Jacko bugs planted out there. He fucking knows his ears are burning.
That's it. I was thinking about how much time do you have left because all I've just been doing is just talking shit the whole time.
No, that's exactly it. I did want to specifically though bring everybody up to speed on everything that you've been up to, especially this last season off in Dubai because you were quite busy. And that's what made me want to reach out and get you back on the show.
Amazing. Well, as I said, just been doing a little bit more of the organizing. So this was the first summer that I actually went away and got the opportunity to do some organizing. Tom Shorten, which is a cool story of me and Tom Shorten actually. Like he was my FS coach. So I did my FF, and in the UK you have to do the FS1. So he was my guy. He had 500 jumps or something. I had 30, and I had the belly suit on with the sausages, and he was teaching me how to go slower and faster. And just the first person that I'd been jumping with, and was actually smiling at me, you know. So me and him been friends since then. And then I went to New Zealand. I got him the job in New Zealand, and it's pretty funny. His first day, like I was like, "Hey, welcome to Queenstown, man." He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I was like, "Man, be prepared. You know, like it's going to be a bit rough out there today." He's like, "Yeah, it's fine, man." And I've been cruising around, and it's like average turbulence. And he's like looking at me. I'm like, "Dude, you just wait till you hit the roof." And then literally 20 seconds later, we hit this turbulence, and he just whacked straight into the roof. I was like, "There you go, man. You're on." But anyway, he ended up moving to Voss and had a I had the opportunity to become like the ops manager there. So, you know, it's definitely who you know in the sport, and he managed to get me in for this gig for the organizing at Extreme Sports Week. So that was the first trip. You know, I left here, and that was the first stop. So it was great. That was awesome. I fucking love that drop zone. Voss it's a great spot, and if anyone has any spare cash to help them with their legal battles to keep it going, then they should definitely get on that. I don't know if you've seen that.
A little bit here and there, but bring everybody up to speed.
I actually don't really know too much the in depths of it, but I think it's just that you know that someone has bought the land and they want to develop it into houses, so the airport is in jeopardy of losing the right to fly there and whatever. It's shit, you know.
I mean,
'Cause
that
that's one
seems
of
to,
that.
that's the
I was
big
just say,
fucking problem with our sport is shit like airport access and dumb shit like that.
well, it pisses me off when they build houses next to the airport and they go, "Oh, it's noisy." We're like, "Well, yeah, fucking oath, you just bought a house next to the airport." Like,
Yep.
you know, even here, they're like ringing up. We used to start work at 6 a.m. in the summer, and then now Caesar's Palace is ringing up saying, "Oh, it's noisy." I'm like, "It's always been fucking noisy. This drop zone's been here before Blue Waters was even there. So like, why are you moaning about it?" Like, but anyway, that
Yeah. I mean, I may have had something to do with that back when I was still there, because at least for the last few months that I was there, fuck all of them. I was descending props full forward and making as much noise as I could.
perfect, exactly. That's exactly. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And then anyway, it was because like Norway is pretty close to England, so went back home and my brother's. I'm a uncle, so I was hanging out a little bit
Congrats.
with the family a little bit, and she's now two, little Mila, so like it was cool to hang out with them and see the family. Obviously, my parents are getting old, and like Dubai is definitely better than New Zealand, Australia, but it's still 7 hours, and and
Yep.
I've got a life, and my life is pretty full power all the time, so. It's, like salaries are different, but when you get paid to be at work, then when you're not at work, you're not only not getting paid for the jumps you're doing, but you're also spending money. It's like you're getting double fucked. So
Yep. Yep. Well, that was the thing
and
too, is at least back in the day, when Dubai was still everyone on salary, man, oh man, fuck, we'd see a cloud 5 miles away and call the day. Oh
yeah,
no, there's
yeah,
there's a
it brews the wrong kind of mentality in the people. Like I'm money. I won't say I'm money driven. Like I have a very strong work ethic because like uh money pays me to the shit that I want to do,
sure.
and I'm not afraid of getting my hands dirty and getting in there. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Not to mention being able to eat is always a nice thing. And when you are in an industry like skydiving that is mostly paycheck to paycheck, and you ask a skydiver how much he has in savings, and it's just that dazed look you get on their faces.
yeah, it's zero. Like I come back every summer and I just spend all my money. Like right now, I've still not been paid yet. I've been back in the rules here. You have to do a month in lieu, and then you get paid on the third week of the next month. So you have to do 7 weeks without a pay. So I've not been paid in 4 months. So
Ouch.
your boy's credit card is looking very red.
Ouch. Ouch. Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but I was fucking spoiled because I came in there as a pilot and I was salaried from day one until the day I resigned. So I never really had to do that, but I did, I mean, way too many years of paycheck to paycheck with skydiving. And of course, a lot of the drop zones you'd get paid once a month, but skydivers don't, we don't have fucking money. So a month is a long
Now,
goddamn time.
I have a quite a morbid outlook on it, and like there's many people around us that like people are saving, they're eating rice and chicken every day to save for an apartment, or and good for them. But like,
Right.
I talked about on the last one a couple of the near misses, and there's one I actually didn't get to talk about. The more you're in the sport and the more you jump, like it's just a numbers thing. It's like you're gonna see some stuff, whether it's you or you're gonna be involved in some stuff. It's literally it's a numbers game.
Yep.
And I don't want to die. Like I fucking love my life, but like
Right.
this, stranger things have happened. I don't want to be saving. My worst fear is to be saving for this thing that I never actually get, and then my life before that was less because I was saving for this thing. There's a,
Sure.
there's a fine line. Like I'm not super loose with the money. Like I still live within my means, but like like tonight after I finish this call, I'm gonna order a burger because you know what? I want a burger. Like
Yeah.
like
Well, and
that's
I
just how
mean,
that's how it is.
I definitely I lived the I mean, I hate to call it the Dubai lifestyle, but it definitely was for a jumper. I lived the Dubai lifestyle for the first few years that I was out there. You're spending it as fast as you're making it, and I mean,
Yeah.
I bought my fucking first car in Dubai like 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks after I got there. And it wasn't like a piece of shit Toyota. I bought a goddamn
Yeah.
Mercedes, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So,
No, it's like this little things, those little things. Like I don't live in that long term. I still want to progress in my life and to have things in the future and not have to work forever. You
sure.
know, but there's a sweet spot. I want to enjoy my time here. Like, living in the marina is becoming increasingly expensive. The war and all these other things happening. It's just
Yeah.
the nice, convenient places to live. It's just becoming completely unaffordable. But it's like, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to do 10 jumps a day and drive an hour through traffic and live somewhere in the desert and just have a shit quality of life? Or do I want to live closer to the town and have a 6 meter window and look over the Dubai skyline and sit there and drink beers on my sofa? Like,
Yeah.
I would choose the second one.
Oh no, hey, and believe me, I completely agree. I did that entire thing. I was just lucky in that I got in when it wasn't particularly expensive, and then when it started to get really expensive, COVID hit and all the rents tanked, and so shit got less expensive for a while. But I remember when COVID hit, sitting there thinking of all the fucking stupid, crazy shit I've done in my life. If I die from a fucking flu, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like, it's just, don't take things for granted. It's not like live fast, die young, but it's like live fast, die old.
Yeah. Well, just I think the operative word in all that is live, right? You got to
Yeah,
live.
for sure. Man. Yeah, definitely. And I'm hoping now is like going back to the summer stuff was like the more gigs that I can do and like to try and break into the load organizer kind of thing. It's like, all right, well, I still go to the events that maybe not necessarily that I would want to pay for now, but I'm more than happy to go to, especially like it's a bit out of order on the chronological story of the summer, but like one of the gigs that I got in the summer was the Checkmate Buggy at Pink, and it's Clad-V. It runs side by side with the Pink Open, so like you got all my super friends there. I'm leading groups out the Sky Van. There's like a belly. There's three belly big ways going on. There's 300-400 people at the drop zone. Like, it's amazing. It's such a vibe, and especially when you have many circles, many friends, and everybody's there. It's like, this is amazing. Like, would I want to pay for these jumps? Whatever it is now, 42 euros out the Sky Van? Probably not. But I'm more than happy to be there and get paid and use that as a tool, and then hopefully in the future more and more of these things happen, and I spend less and less of my savings, and
Sure. Well, and it kind of
break even through the summer.
seems to be going that direction for you as well. I mean, you got picked up by Gyro this last year?
I think it's I think it's probably about 1 year from now. Yeah, I've been with Gyro from
That's
1 year
fucking
from
cool,
now. Yeah,
man. I mean, that's kind of how
it's
it
great.
starts, right?
It's great. It's actually pretty cool as well because one of the guys when I moved to Australia, there was like the four amigos. It was me and my two friends, Angus Sellen and Ryan Weatherly, and then their friend was Maddie Walker, who was flying the planes at the time. And then, got introduced, and then we was the group, we were the guys jumping together, and we were equally as talented and equally as loose as each other. So like,
Yeah.
it was a perfect environment to grow and progress because like you could be Sendy and you weren't going to get capped off the jumps because I'm going to be Sendy on this one and not be dangerous, and then someone else will be dangerous on the next one, and then it's on my turn to be dangerous. Nobody's not jumping with them because they're being too dangerous because we're all just as dangerous to each other. And then now Matty Walker is now the guy, in Gyro. He's my way in. He's fighting my corner with them. So like I owe everything really of getting in on that to him. So I'm very thankful for having good friends.
And that's how it is too. I mean the reputation in skydiving gets around fast. The talent gets to be known pretty quickly. And shit in this sport, I mean, a generation is not the lifetime of a skydiver in this sport. A generation is just the next group coming up, and it moves fucking fast. So you kind of go from the unknown, just kind of, cutting your teeth to the guy running the show in pretty short order.
Yeah, but it's also, I'm starting to get to that point now, like being in this sport like a decade, but like in the sport like 8 years. So like those people that were, we're all progressing, we're all grown. So like my friends that were nobodies before, they're also still in the sport long enough that now they become the guys. So
Sure.
It's really nice. What I was talking about before about the community and the networking, for me, is like the partying is like, yeah, it's really fun, but it's also when you really get to meet people, and a lot of the lasting memories that you have with people is not just the skydives, it's the time that you spend like on the drop zone.
Oh, without
building
a doubt.
those, solidifying those friendships, and really connecting with people, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, all my skydiving stories either boil down to no shit there I was stories, or hanging out at the drop zone before or after jumping. Like most of the jumps just kind of blend in unless I almost died or something really fucking cool happened.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like we're talking about it now because a lot of our opportunities here for drinking beers after work at the drop zone, it's kind of been taken away from us. And it's like, yeah, we're not only just looking for somewhere where we can drink, cheap cans of beer, but we're missing on that opportunity of sharing all the information with each other and just, shooting the shit. Maybe it's a little bit different here because a lot of people have a solid base level of experience, but like, for the newer jumpers or the people coming in, it's like, you hear a lot of stuff, and then like when shit happens, like I talked about the hang up on the last the tandem hang up on the 182 on the last podcast, was like, you really like talk about information and things that you wouldn't really think about, or like, all right, cool, maybe if I tell this story and like people hear it, maybe if it happens to them, they just have this like this moment where they're like, oh shit, maybe I try that, or maybe this might save my life, or all these little things that is taken away from you if you just literally do the jumps and go home. This
Sure.
information is just not shared, and I think that it's really important, especially for the sketchiest shit. It's like you should learn from the mistakes of others. Like we shouldn't shy away from telling us when we fucked up. Like you think that it doesn't. It makes me look like a great instructor when I share these things. Yeah, cool. No, I definitely made a big mistake on my part, and I want to share that with other people to not do the same as me,
Absolutely.
Like even after I did it, I was like, I will not be the last person to do this.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, generally, you're right. I think most of that stuff gets passed down at a lot of drop zones at the proverbial bonfire. But one kind of cool thing to see how people did it in Dubai was, because we didn't have the option of the bonfire and the drop zone was just done at the end of the day. Dubai is the only place where the bonfire included a bartender and cocktail waitresses at a fucking high-rise bar. It used to be the funniest thing in the world to walk into the bar, and the whole fucking bar, and I'm talking a proper establishment in a high-rise hotel, has been taken over by a bunch of dirtbag skydivers, just feet on the tables, fucking just causing mayhem and loving it.
It does make me laugh. Sometimes here we go out and we have drinks, and it's like we go into the pool clubs, and we're just the ragabonds, turn up, long shaggy hair, holes in our shirts, and everyone's like looking their best, all dolled up. Just the dirtbags rocking in.
Yeah. Stumbling in fucking Crocs and dirty skydiving t-shirts, and yeah, man.
No Crocs, man. Come on.
Fuck you. Look at these, man. I still got these beauties from Dubai, my daisy covered Crocs. Fuck yeah, man. Any big plans coming up this next season? Obviously, you're in Dubai for the season now, but are there any things coming up over the Dubai summer?
More of just the organizing, just trying to do more free fly, more angles and tracking. We've got some cool things hopefully in the works where I think it's not going to be, it can never be Maktoum, like
Sure.
those days are long gone. But like we're starting to get a little traction now, and not some opportunities have come our way where the drop zone feels like they're actually backing us a little bit more, and like they're trying to help promote us a little bit and bring people in. Hopefully, we've got the Fly for Life guys coming in for January time, and it's nice to have the drop zone backing us to bring those guys in, teachers, also fly with them.
Sure.
That's just the kind of the local stuff, and I just hope I get some more experience on the load organizing and the coaching, and some more opportunities will come my way for next summer, because it's kind of hard at the minute because obviously I'm still tied to doing tandems and video for
Sure.
the majority of the season. The skills that I'm learning now is that I want to book my time off my 2 months off next year to book some more events, and not have to spend all my summer savings to do all the cool shit.
Sure. Now
So
you said you're pre-podcast. You said you're out doing coaching on the weekends in the desert.
yeah, they got the flight school out there now. So like there's gonna be 6 of us, I think, as the instructors, and it's me, Brandon, Matteo Conti, Shane Schaefer, is it Simon Whittle? He's gonna be joining us. And we're forgetting Jim Harris, obviously. He's in there. And Nick Calabrino is our designated cameraman. So it's great to have the opportunity to do super cool high level jumps every week, and then have a nice video guy. So hopefully the goal is to be doing nice jumps and putting some cool videos out there.
Which is awesome. And I mean, there's no better way to really sharpen those skills than jumping with that caliber people.
Yeah, it's great. And also like me and Brandon do most of the leading of the jumps. It's cool that everyone can lead a jump, but like me and him do majority of it, because I push myself. I want to try to do it, and it's really fun to have these cool ideas that you have in your head, or the way you want to try something, and you just know that you trust the people on the other end of the following to not only not hit you in the back of the head, but to try and make it look cool. So
For
it's
sure. Well, I mean, shit, dude, the stuff that you're putting out on socials got my attention enough to be like, dude, we got to talk again because you've been up to some shit. So clearly, you guys are doing something right. And with Brandon, who has got to be one of the most stylish skydivers I've ever met. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
that guy stands out in a crowd with the perfect rig and the perfect jumpsuit and the incredible skills. I mean, what's not to love?
For sure. And it's also just like a pretty cool opportunity that everyone has a lot of experience. So like it's not just a dictatorship it's like a collaborative, and you come down from the jump and you ask each other, okay, like how was that to follow? Like how can I lead that better for us for this to make it better? And it's easy to listen and learn from each other. It's not just like one person running the show. So it's
Sure.
cool. And it's
Absolutely.
great to not have to wait 10 months to then go do hot labs. Like we can hopefully, fingers crossed, be pushing it. So
Dude, it's
I'm
awesome.
really looking forward to the next 5 years. I really hope to get ourselves out there and put Dubai back on the map for not just tandems. Like the Maktoum guys really paved the way for a generation of inspiration. Like
Sure.
everybody remembers those guys.
Oh, absolutely. Now, speaking of
So
all of this stuff, so for anybody that's in the region that is listening and wants to come out and jump with you guys on the weekend in the desert, or for people that are thinking about destination spots over the Dubai summer and the events that you might be doing, how do people find you on social media? How can they reach out to you and see what's up?
You can definitely just hit up Skydive Dubai for the actual booking. Skydive Dubai Desert Campus for the bookings of the camps. Really fortunate that there's basically camps every single weekend. There's free fly coaches there every single day. Like if you turn up, you can definitely get on something. It's getting pretty booked up, so a little bit of foresight if you're going to come. Me personally, or you talking about just
Yeah, you
just the
personally.
bookings?
Yeah,
Me
you personally.
personally, yeah, Jam Sandwich on Instagram, and that's about as far as we go, I think. So
Dude, it's fantastic. I mean, honestly, it looked like you were having so damn much fun over the season, and all the videos that you were putting out were all the jumps looked fantastic, and more than anything else, it just looked like you were having a shitload of fun.
they have a lot of fun, man. I just can't wait for the next summer. You know, like this is the grind. It's still fun, but we're grinding. But the real deal stuff is in the summer. You know, like getting out into the mountains for me is amazing. Like this year, managed to do some really cool events with moving days in Norway and Angle Week in Sweden. And the bit in between actually was super cool. Hung out with Anna and Christian Mox. They got like a farm up in the hills
Yep.
in Norway, and just had some like real time, like no phone. Actually built them a bar, like got on the on the tools a little bit, and just was just really cool hanging out with people that I don't really get to hang out with, and just no commitments, no stress. It was very freeing, and I'm really looking forward to more of that stuff next year.
Sure.
Like
Well,
that all
next
comes through. That all comes through the 10 months of the grind. So
when you're in the neighborhood next year, hopefully I'll be able to hop over and visit. I wanted to actually come to Extreme Week this last time around. It just didn't line up, but I mean, Voss is an 11-hour drive for me. It's nothing. It's a road trip.
well, I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be there next year. So
Awesome. Dude, can't wait.
no, man, I'm stoked. Come do some lobs, and that place is amazing. We do some demos. Smoke. It's the first time I jumped the smoke. We did this one jump with the flag with Ben Dicko, and it was like there was the Tom was jumping the big Norwegian flag, and it was like 60-meter flag or something.
Oof.
So, and the plan was for the canopy guys to do like swoops by it with smoke, and then the wingsuits were going to do like a low pass with it. But classic wingsuits in the cloud, they fucked that up, so they never made it. We made it, and it was like, I think it was Andreas Hemling was the first, then it was Claudio, then it was Dico, then it was me, and like everyone's like highly loaded, high pass canopies. Not really done too much of this like swooping in and trying to meet something in midair. So it was really fun. It was supposed to do like a right hand barrel roll over the top of the canopy, over the top of the tandem. And as I was coming in, I was like, well, I prefer to go left. I'm last anyway, so I think maybe it'll look cool if I go on the left, and whoever's in front of me goes right, and I go left. And as I like swoop down and like yank the rears, come up the side of the 60-meter flag, and as I get to the top of the tandem to do this barrel roll, I just look up and see Dicko sitting on toggles next to the tandem. I'm like, oh my god, like what's happening? And like he just looks at me and he just does this real tight barrel roll, and like, man, I tell you, if we did this jump another 200 times, we would never get the timing as good as we got it on this one. Like, he did a short one. I literally did a one over the top of him. So it was like two simultaneous barrels, like opposing, like an alley-oop kind of thing. I was like, oh my God, that was sick. And then I looked at the flag, and obviously the flag is hanging down lower. And then we managed to make like a second pass over the flag on each other, like, but still the perfect timing. And like, I landed, and I was like, that was epic. Obviously, my camera didn't work. It's the one time that the camera doesn't work. But man, like that shit, it's on tap there. You got to get out to Extreme Sports Week, man, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. If nothing
sure.
else, just to sit and watch it all happen, man.
Whether it's good or whether it's bad, it's entertaining.
Yeah. Well, Jamie, man, as always, it's fucking fantastic to catch up with you. I'm glad that we were able to nail it down and that we didn't overheat your phone too bad so we could finish the call.
Yeah, so got to get back on charge, man, for the last little bit. Take
Yeah,
three.
man. Yeah, dude, that was awesome. Big hugs to everybody out there, man. Say hello to everybody I like.
Yeah. So I'll tell everyone to fuck off then, right?
Yeah, fair enough. All right, brother.
Thank you very much for having me back on, man.
See ya. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast brought to you as always by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.